Okay, I never play in the Eternal, but okay. Hey, so I remember when I first started grinding Champions Road, right? And I looked up videos for strategies and all, right? And nothing against the people that have made them, but they seemed awfully advanced for my level, because basically I was sort of new to Purism. I still am not particularly experienced in Purist gameplay, right? This is coming from a perspective of someone who absolutely hates Champions Road, hates this tech style gameplay. But struggled to get through it, and these are sort of the strats that I used to get through it. Way back 6 or 7 months ago. I'm not even, literally 6 or 7 months ago. I beat it in May. Yeah? And it's November when I'm recording this, nearly December. Yeah. So, yeah, I haven't actually beaten this in the Eternal Abyss yet, because I couldn't be arsed. But, I'm gonna try to do it legit. That's a bad idea. I never play in this game. Genuinely, I have only beaten like a few easies and like rebeaten things here. So, we're gonna be learning together. Well, no, I assume most people probably already know how this works. I'm just out of touch. So how do you go into practice? It's right there, mate. Right, okay. So, yes, okay, first off, you know the way when you restart your run, right? And sometimes you fail this jump, like 5 times in a row, right? Just line up backwards and do it. It's really dumb. And like shift midair. It's a really dumb strat because it's not a particularly hard jump, but sometimes you get like, as I said, the zoomies, that's not the right word. Sometimes you just get like cooked and you loop fail that jump for no reason. And that's camera control. This, I like to flick this side, whichever. You can flick off the bottom of this if you want. So I prefer going like 2 down, sideways a bit and jumping. So most of these strats aren't very complicated. Here, just turn to the edge, go down, jump. Make sure you're sort of like 45 degrees-ish there. See, yeah, my biggest issue, I guess, like other videos, right, is the fact that they move so quickly, and it's like, yeah, I get it, you've beaten this so many times, but it's just the fact that it's supposed to be for beginners, you know? Most of the strats also just didn't work for me. Because I'm dumb. Here, just sort of line up, and then unshift, sort of midair. My strat here, go down in the middle of these 2 studs, shift in. And I have like a weird strat here, I just turn and jump off like that. It's always worked really well for me. Other strats I've seen people use, just like it's way too easy to miss. Now here, this jump, you don't want to actually, you want to go down really far, you want to make sure that you're sort of like off the truss, then jump and turn in. And here, how do I usually do this? I think I usually go like this, right? I hope so. And here, sort of go far up, and like, it's so hard to explain. Like, treat it just like a wrap. It's kind of ascending a bit. And here, just make sure you go like really far down, because you can hit your head here. And jump up. And here's just a really sharp turn. So floor 1, it's still kata gameplay, like it's pretty difficult. That's sort of just like a flick. Floor 2 is probably the hardest raw. So you can flick around this truss. If you're not good at flicking around trusses, then you can try bounce around the top, but you'll probably get pushed off. Here you're going to W in, I'd say twice-ish. Go down to when like your leg is touching the bottom, and just flick off. Here, it's a really sharp turn. It is really hard to explain. You will get better over time. But you don't need to take it particularly seriously, because I used to fail this jump a lot, and I ended up down here, and I just jumped and redid it. So it was never a particularly threatening jump, so I always kind of rushed it. You can try like a lodge like that as well if you like miss. So here, go in the middle of the stud, turn, and go like that. You can also sort of, I do this a lot, I sort of like vary. I turn and then turn back a little. I have 2 strats for this, and it's just whatever, depends on the day. So I sort of go to the, where do I go? I go like here, right? Yeah, I hope. And then turn to like there, and flick in, and then turn. Or you can do the probably better strat of unshifting. Either way, I used to fail that jump all the time, The unshifting one's definitely better, but it just depends on the day for me for some reason. Here, I just jump and turn like there. Here, I have a weird strat here. So, you want to go until you can see this cylinder here, right? Until you can sort of see it in first person. And go down, bounce off the top once, go down twice. Then make sure you hold D when doing that, because I missed that, like, an embarrassing amount of times. This jump here, I used to be so horrendous at. I had, like, genuinely, I have probably developed 25 different strats for this, and this is the best one I found. So, align sort of with the middle of, like, the edge and the stud, right? And then alignment keys, right? And you want to make sure, after your alignment keys, that you're sort of, like, on this middle bit of the stud where the outline is, where your cursor is there. And then align with, like, the... How do you explain this? The little hole. And then Shift, W, and D. It works really well. There are so many different strats for that jump, but because of physics changes and all, it does, like, my strats have varied a lot, but that one has always worked the best for me in the long run. Here, just kind of flick. It's a weird jump, you'll feel it occasionally. This jump's weird, but I was never particularly bad at it, I just kind of filled it when I wasn't locked in. So there's a few strats. You can just go here, go far up, and then sort of turn. You can do the slashy dance 3 strat, which is go there, jump, and then turn. This is like... I feel like the biggest issue people have with this jump is they sort of think in the second dimension, and I know that sounds really weird, but if you think in the third dimension, then... And sort of... it's a really weird description, but if you know what I mean, then yeah. And sort of acknowledge this wedge and go like far out, right? Then you'll be fine. You can just sort of act like there is a platform, like up until here. Say there's an invisible platform here and you're wrapping around it. That is like the best description for me, but it is a difficult jump. It is weird. But if you just sort of keep doing it, it does become muscle memory. But I would say sort of use what I've told you as a basis. Then here, I failed this again. Embarrassing amount of times. I failed to so many times. It's ridiculous. This music gives me PTSD. So jump in place, I'd say, and then just kind of turn in third person. It's not particularly hard. This jump here, okay, again, so many different strats that I've tried. But this ended up working the best for me. So alignment keys, then W until you can see the truss, then flick, go down until you're like in the middle, and then so you're aligned with like the alignment key thing, and then jump. That has worked the best for me. And then if you sort of land down here, you can flick onto it really easily. You could, if you land far down enough, you could possibly just do that, because with that strat, you always land pretty far down. If you land higher up, then you're kind of cooked. If you land here, you kind of just have to like hope for the best. It's a bit of a gamble. And how did I do this again? Alright, sorry, it's been a while since I last played this because it's awful. But these are ingrained into my skull because of, so how do I do this jump? Alright, so just go here, turn. Yeah, did I have like a specific alignment for this? It's not a particularly tight jump, but I have filled it. I'm done. Now you just want to turn and go. Don't do any fancy shit off of this, okay? Just go down to the bottom, jump off. It gives you the perfect amount of distance. This jump, once again, biggest struggle is when you don't think in the third dimension. So you can hit your head off this. You very well often hit your head off of this. So you want to sort of go up. Like, it's not a fun jump. Go up and then flick in. It is a very strange one. I think the intention was to sort of fit in there and do a head hitter. No one does that, just climb it. If you're like speedrunning, you can just kind of just jump up there. I don't really get what the point of this is. 3 is generally considered the easiest floor of these first 4. I completely disagree. I think honestly, I think 4 in Raw is the easiest. It's just long and like pressure because you're so far in. 1 is also fairly easy. 2 is definitely the hardest, like in Raw at least. So here I would flick up and flick in. Okay. Flick up, And then, oh, am I doing that right? Yeah, just kind of go in. It's a weird jump, but most of the time if you fail, you'll land here. Even here, which isn't the best, but it's not the worst either. Oh no, you can do it in third person as well. Sort of just from here. It's not a particularly tight jump, so it's not very strat based. This jump, I also changed my strat a few times, but the best way to do it, honestly, is to just go sort of, I'd say like 5 to 10 degrees up, and then have your cursor on like this little outline, and then just kind of jump in. That was a little bit of a weird example. It's strange, but yeah, there are other strats. You can treat it like a head hitter. That worked for me at the start, and then just kind of, if it works well for you, then do it. This is very much a subjective strat. Like, that's why I know other people's strats didn't really work for me, because I'm just sort of, I need to have my own strats. I'm not good at strat gameplay, but I had to beat this for my 100%, and just because I wanted to beat it the hardest. So in here, I would, yeah, go in like inside the thing. You can turn it a little bit if you want, but it doesn't really matter. And then shift. See, most of the time you want to turn it a little because you can get stuck. Though I would say just turn it a little, and then yeah. This jump is buns. I'm just gonna be honest. It is you'll randomly fail it. It's not even hard. It's just you can't strat it, so it kind of, if you're out of the zone, it kind of fucks you up. You just gotta lodge and then climb. This thing, okay. A lot of explaining to do here. So go sort of out until you can eventually spam jump and get pushed out of here, right? And eventually you will go down onto the ladder. And you want to go down until your cursor's around the middle of these. You can't be too picky, but you'd rather it was too high than too low. And then flick and land on that. You will kind of be low, but you're better being too low. Like, you're better being fairly low and landing it by climbing it, because it is very easy to hit your head there. It is a strange jump. A lot of these jumps, the strats will never really be 100% consistent, because this gameplay is just bad. It's just so, like, it is genuinely RNG at points, which is why you have to keep throwing attempts. That is just kind of a wrap that you want to turn tightly. People will disagree. People will get very annoyed about me calling this RNG. It just is. I'm sorry. Like, if you like it, cool, good on you, but there are so many things that are just... There are strats to make them not RNG, but they're so unbelievably hard that you'd rather just take the chance. So, here, okay, this jump, right. So you want to end up in the middle of the stud, turn, and then wrap, and make sure you wrap tightly in. The amount of times I've failed this jump purely because I have, like, wrapped too flatly is ridiculous. It is a tight one, and it will appear easy at first, but it is a difficult jump. One of the, yeah, see, you'll fail it like that, but the main reason I failed it is because I sort of landed too flatly. You want to have a really sharp turn. You don't really want to, you can't do it in ghost mode, but you better do it in third person. I don't know how to do that. Actually, maybe ghost mode does work better. Whatever you find more comfortable, I suppose. It doesn't really matter as long as... No, this jump is genuinely really tough. If you get caught on it, doesn't really matter, as long as you're kind of close to the wall, you don't want to be too far up. Here, just sort of approach it and jump. I failed it like twice. This jump I used to do so wrong with jump in quotations. Turn a bit, shift, so then you're climbing this bit, and then hold D. I used to do some weird turny shit that, like, worked 50% of the time. It's what this sign tells you to do, but what the sign tells you to do is incredibly outdated and wrong. I did it like that, and then, like, missed a lot. You don't want to only use your camera. You do want to, like, hold W there. And so when you're shifting out, you do want to hold W. This jump here, I spent so much time here. Christ almighty. I'd say It's a weird jump, but it's basically netted. You can do it on the other side. I never found it particularly comfortable because it involves flicking to the left. I like doing this side. So yeah, I would press W and flick. If you miss it, then you can just sort of like keep going back and forth and trying to land back on there. You can also land back in here, but like, gotta be hella reaction time. Okay, this jump, strange one. Jump and land on here. I have failed it like occasionally, and it's annoying. But just shift, jump, land on here, and like, just be mindful of the wedge physics. Here I'd say go to the corner, go down by 3, and then simply just camera control it. It's not too hard. And this jump is head hitter. This jump I failed like a few times later on in the grind. Kinda wanna go up. Doesn't really matter your positioning all that much. What matters is the landing, it's the hard bit. You just kinda wanna hold D and climb it. It's not particularly hard, but it's like failable if you're not paying attention. And yeah, that's just a head hitter. Here, you can hit your head here. It's possible. Just be mindful of it and sort of wrap around it, kind of, but not like completely around it. You still want to like, I think you want to like graze it, because if you sort of like jump into it, this weird explanation, then you like slightly miss this platform. It's weird, but because the thing is, if you like wrap around it, right, you'll not make the jump. You just want to be mindful of it. And just jump into here. Here. This is just first person jump. This is like the first kind of hard jump before. I have a friend who lodged it and got really mad when I said that strat was dumb. It's what you get for playing on 60 FPS. Don't do it. So I'd say turn. Do you turn? Yeah. What do you do? Yeah, like that. You turn up and then sort of you want to be mindful of where you land. Because if you don't do that weird flick thing at the end, you can hit your head and miss the platform. You want to go and then sort of flick in and then land it like from against the wall, because then you will fit into the platform. It's a bit of a weird jump, but it sort of does become muscle memory. Here you want to be at like the edge, so W to like the edge of the platform. And then W up, go down by 2, and make that. I remember I had a friend that asked me for a strat on that jump, and I was like, it really isn't that bad. This thing's bad. You can jump up, but it never feels completely consistent for me. I just like to W till I'm about halfway up, and then shift, W and A. And then I'm high up here, flick, and then shift in. Do not try climb it, it's not a good idea. I could have a keyboard overlay for this, I just realised, but I'd never find those really help much anyways. And I don't know why I'm going back. This jump is simple, just jump from wherever. This jump sort of aligned like parallel to this platform, is that explained right? And then jump and like flick in. It's a fairly tough jump. I remember that I think that my first fail on this floor was that jump. But it is just kind of a far jump that isn't particularly challenging if you know what you're doing. Here, it's not particularly hard. Just sort of be mindful of like the turning of the platform. Like turn and go like it's in parallel to this. It's not a challenge, but it's I guess failable if you're not paying attention. And that's just this jump's weird. I changed my strat a few times, but I do find that the best way is to go cough cough is to go in, unshift, and then sort of like lodge a bit and go in. Though sometimes you will get lucky and not need to lodge. If you more so if you unshift late, like that's not happening now. But when I was playing this earlier, it did. Yeah, like that. Though if you do end up lodged, it's not the end of the world. Just kind of wait a bit until you kind of shift over and go in. Here, go again. Okay, this is a bit of a weird jump, but if you fail it, you're fairly safe. You just land at the end of 3 usually. So go here, sort of against the wall, turn up, and then wrap into this. It's strange. I've never failed that. That's like, what's probably the one jump of the first time I've never failed. Just, I'd climb it if I were you. And here, sort of a line parallel to this, and then don't be dumb. I never failed that jump. The only jumps that I haven't, so just kind of like, yeah. Make sure you don't hit the wall, it's not a particularly hard jump. Jump from this corner. And jump from this corner. Go in and take advantage of the space that you're given, because I have no idea why you're given what, 5 studs here, but sort of make sure you go in, be safe, and WD, jump on. Here, in the middle of the stud, turn to here. Ish. I would say don't be particularly specific, like, I'd say it'd probably be better if you go in, turn it, and then go out of it. If you turn your camera mid-air, like, it can sort of help. It's a weird jump. I have a weird strat for this that I was given at one point. So you sort of go around. It's like you're gonna fail it occasionally, but it's nothing crazy. That's actually what I failed earlier. Nope, that was just okay. When I was like playing this, because I was bored. It's like that. I don't know why I was feeling it so much. You can kind of just do it like that. Like, oh, see why I don't like doing it like this? Like, you will sometimes, like, your height will be taken from you, and it's just like, see if you're a little lower, it's usually fine, but that way never felt particularly consistent. I always felt like it was more consistent doing it this way. Still never completely consistent. Why am I so bad at this jump though? Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, that just wasn't my fault. Maybe like jump at the top. And turn to kind of like this. Then shift. Yeah. It's not particular. There's no specific alignment really. I don't want to turn. If you're like higher up on the wedge, it's better. Yeah. This jump here, it's overrated. I don't know why people think it's hard. Go to the middle of the stud, turn back, like to like a quarter, and then flick in. People say it's all skill. There is definitely a bit of strat to it, but like you want to kind of approach it like you're landing from this corner. Like you're landing from like this side and not from the one stud. And here I have failed this so many times by like just being so dumb, and I don't know why. Best way to do it is probably like to go up to there, just because it sort of just involves less like movement in like weird directions. This jump was my PB for ages, and I don't know why. I've only failed it once. First person, first person, go flat against the wall, and then go in. Remember flat wall clips? Sorry, that is just so random, but it just, I said flat wall, and it just brought me back. And then the ball is just easy. Jump up. And lodge. I was almost so worried about failing that, I never did. This jump, how do you do this? You go and jump in place, kind of at like a 35-ish degree angle, I guess. It's like somewhat parallel to the wall, but not completely, and then just turn in. This jump I failed an embarrassing amount of times, and I got a strat for it eventually. I think. You think align with that, I believe? No, you don't align with that, you fucking doing it. Go to the middle of the stud. You align with that. I genuinely don't remember. Hold on, I'm gonna pause for a second and figure out how I did this. Okay, got it. So this jumps look weird. I remember I tried to sort of like do it like that. And there are times where I tried to. But when you're sort of like right at the end of the thing, like you want to have like a concrete way to do it. So go to the middle of the stud. Align with like the middle of this thing here, this little pattern. And then just hold D. It's fully consistent. Jump over here. Here. This is my PB, but yeah. This jump was a PB for a while, yeah. So flat against the wall, turn like at a flat angle, I guess. Like don't like do anything like weird, like turning whatever. You just wanna align, like turn with the wall. So like With the wedge here, that's when you, or the cylinder, that's when you want to start turning sharply. And then sort of really fly against this. I remember failing this before, like the day before I got to net, or the day I got to net for the first time. No, it might have been the day I won actually, and I was trying to get, yeah. Just, please, don't do anything dumb here, like that. Go flat against this and just. This jump isn't anything. I think I failed it once. It's not too hard. Just sort of go here, like, and it's all camera control. But like I'm not doing any crazy elements for it. Now this jump, which I somehow never failed, go up and it's good. You know what? I'll give you the best strat of all time here. Crazy. Unedited. Okay, so the second half, I honestly consider this half easier than the first half. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion. It's just the first half was obviously shorter because there's only there is 5 floors, but like, come on. Okay, wait, I should probably start explaining. So you can go against the wall here, or you can just like, do this. It's sort of a high jump. And then, yeah. 6 is overrated, it's not too bad. So go and push yourself out, and then make sure you go to the bottom of this. For some reason this is at a bit of an angle, so for some reason if you jump off the top, you like, yeah. I don't know, the angle isn't even noticeable, but it's just like, for some reason you have to jump off the bottom. I've made that mistake so many times and like not had any momentum to jump off the truss. It is weird. And here, go in the middle, again, I've done this so many times. From the edge, the middle of the edge and the stud. And go down, sort of like middle of this ish, and flick off. You'll end up rushing this part anyways, but it's just nice to have like ways to know how to do it, I guess. Here, just let's grab. Here, you want to climb sort of at the edge, go down by 2, jump off. Here, weird jump. How do you do it? Yeah, go down by 2, and then flick in. It's a little jank, and there's like a bit of skill to it, but yeah. And then here, all you want to do is just ghost mode, and then sort of like control your camera through it. Here, something I've noticed, right, is if you go down and then up, you'll sort of end up more up. So you want to go down a little bit, and then up more. Not to the point where you bounce though, because then it pushes you down again. So go down a little and go up to the point where you're like higher than usual. And you'll be fine if you do that. Why did I keep walking off? But like, this was an annoying jump for a bit until I started doing that. It's not like that specific, but like, you can't get caught on anything on the way really. Like I did there, I just made it. So yeah, go up and then you'll be fine. So I'll do it one more time. Yeah, just go down and go up to the point where you're like higher than you would be originally. That makes sense. And here, just jump. With this jump, you just want to do it backwards and then like, camera control-ish. That's just far jump. Turn. Oh, I'm doing that right. Yeah, here, and then turn slightly when you want to jump off. And then you're sort of flat against the wall. S and A and jump. And then those jumps are a little weird. You don't want to like hang about them for too long. Just kind of like normal, and don't try to bounce on them too much. Here, go against here, and don't try to bounce off it because it is tilted a bit, so it can push you off. So this, I have actually failed this an embarrassing amount of times until I sort of got a better strat. Land on it. Just go in like that. If you end up too high, then like rip. I guess just try end up getting lower. You can like sort of like go up, but sometimes you'll end up like getting pushed out over and over until you fall off. So I'd recommend just like as soon as you land, stop and then like yeah. Here, okay, pro tip, right? That's what I've always done. Don't go up from this side. If you, by miracle, fail the jump, then it'll be so annoying when you go back down here. Hey, why is the good music not here? What? No, we are going to. I do not want to add. We are going to introduce the good music because, yeah. So here, jump on it, and then yeah, make sure it's on this side where there's a little bit of a net. Jump up through here, turn like a bit through that. There's like a really weird angle, and sort of flick up, go down, and once you're done, make sure you flick because it is an angle, so you will like bounce off of it weird. And then once you're done here, jump. Now here, go out of it, go down, and A, jump and can control. It's not too bad. Here you want to sort of take advantage of like the height push you get. You know, see when that happens, you get pushed up. So get that and then jump. Here, just hold W and jump a little again, jump a little again. Sometimes you want to turn your camera a little more. It's not as hard as it looks though. Again. Here, jump in place and just sort of camera control like that. It's not really failable, even if you do, you'll probably manage to save some of that. And then go down, hold jump, don't turn your camera like 90 degrees because you might have been pushed up. Sometimes you do. You just want to stay. You just want to stay facing this. Jump up, jump down, then shift, click off of that. Here, I sort of want to, so weird. You want to sort of get like bounced on top of it. Why am I so dumb? It never happens. I'm just, why am I so dumb? Yeah, when you're here, right? You'll eventually just stop like that. So then once you're like that, alignment piece, you'll get the perfect thing, just jump up and do like this. This jump is really bad, but if you feel it, okay, I'll show you what happens if you feel it, because I probably will. So, okay, go up here, it's kind of, it is bad. Dude, you better shift clicking. So, okay, first start. Man, if you land like this, instantly just shift off because it's not worth it. Make sure you like land on this like neon bit, otherwise it's sort of game over. Preferably near the middle of it, doesn't really matter. Sort of go up. Oh, it is bad. It's just simply bad. There's no point in doing any flicking like this because it will be very. I do not want an ad. It will be very RNG. Whether you actually get like the flick or not. So yeah, this is probably the hardest floor, but it's very netted. I think it's probably the hardest in raw, and then 2 is the hardest in the first half. So yeah, no. If you land in like the middle or whatever, just flick off like that. This, but they're not good enough. This is like in the middle, so it's good. I'd say go to where like your body is like up, stud, and there's 3, and then just look out like that, and you'll be fine. And then I'm at here, so here sort of go. What do you do? Yeah, you go to this stud here, and then flick out. Go in, and jump. No. And like this, flip it up, and then so there's like 3 like little trusses above you there. Hold D, jump, and go in. And ledge grab here. Don't bother bouncing like that. Sometimes it'll just push you off because it's a wedge. I just take like this. Okay, this jump is so bad. It is so ridiculously, carelessly made. I don't get it. I don't know why. You will just sometimes just not land it. How am I landing right now? So you're better just jumping from like the closest as possible, going far out and around it. Sometimes it will end up like that. Sometimes you just won't get the distance to make it for like that, right? But the goal is, I guess, try to go far up, like this, and land it in here. Personally, just do that. It's legit. No one's gonna penalize you for doing that. You can go up and go down, like go your head is here, and then try to jump off. And then once you're on here, go like this. No, not jump like that. No one does it like this. Flick out and then try and get like this boost here. So you'll end up sort of using like a flick thing that you'd be doing here anyways. You can see how like weird that was to pull off. So I would say just do this. And then we've got this. First off, go in here. And don't do that. I've no concurrence. Do not want to do that. Wait, do I have a strat? Yeah, I do have a strat. What am I doing? So put your cursor on the corner. And go in. That's always worked best for me. It's really consistent once you do that, though if you do fail, it's not the end of the world. Just land on these platforms. Not this one you'll fall through. And here, and then, like the thing, I actually didn't show this yet. Go down here, sort of flick that. You can shift it as well. Like up here, flick that. And like that's fully legit. You're fine. Where was I? Here? So this thing, flick out like that. And flick off. Just shift like sort of move your camera as well. It is a very strange one. You can do something with this, but you'll probably get pushed out like a lot. You're better just flicking that and yeah, like moving up with the flick. Turn like this on the corner, cursor in the middle, under the corner, that. Can jump here. I'd recommend like holding jump and Wing around the corners like this. Stand W. Over here, alignment keys. Up. And it doesn't really matter where you land. You're better landing in the middle of this thing. And then have your cursor sort of anywhere above the arrow will be fine, but preferably like in between the top of these two studs. But anywhere above the point of this arrow, you'll be fine. Just turn a bit. Not entirely matter how much. Just jump off. So there's two strats for this, maybe more. So go here. It's gonna be high up. And then shift click and go in like that. Because you have the angle from this, you're fine. You can also just like try on this and go like that. Like just click onto the thing. Which works well as well. And also sometimes you click onto that and you'll be fine. Whatever is just more comfortable. They're all a little janky, but you'll sort of get used to any of them in a real run. Go here, so we'll just flip a little on that. Here, like go parallel to this corner, and you'll like get a little bit of like a speed decrease, a little like flip physics, but land on this truss. And then here, sail line here, shift like from that corner and then go up in the middle, to the top, and then shift like I think you have a fairly good idea of where to flip from, sort of like here-ish, not particularly specific,
So, you fail that in a real run, just like, I'm sorry. Here. I actually failed this a few times, I don't know why. It's flat against this. And then shift look up like that. And you're good. From here, shift look up like that. Done. Shift down like that. Go here. Look sort of up, like where you're up, but you're still on like the corner thing. And go down, jump out into the corner. Make sure you're sort of outside of that little crack, and land on this ladder. Here I failed this so many times in a real run. I never fail it in practice, and this is my PB for ages. Don't know why. It's not that difficult. Just shift click, hold D, make sure you don't get caught on the cylinder at all, because that's sort of slowly done. Don't bother with W until like really late on. Just sort of click, hold D, and then W in. And here, just like... Actually, yeah. Thing to address, because you're gonna end up stuck here for usually. You don't usually sit down, but... This is like... Say you don't sit down. Are you not supposed to flip? Oh, right, no, because this is the eternal best. But yeah, just like spam flick through this. Once you're ragdolled, and you'll be fine. If you're playing on the eternal best, just, yeah, flip and like get up and get ragdolled. But yeah, usually you just flip and then you go. They used to do a weird thing here, but and just once you hit this cylinder, just like flick a bunch, then you'll get up. This thing, okay, there's a few strats. First off, you can just sort of go. Okay, that's great. So click onto this. Press W for like let go of W for a second, then you'll end up like climbing, and you can just flick off like that. That's option number 1. Number 2, you sort of try land like that by just flicking. Option number 3, do a combination of both. Sort of, yeah, whatever feels more comfortable. I mean, you can do that as well. But this thing is weird. Like, it fucked with me a lot in real rounds. But that was the strat I always went for. Here, hold W, right? Hold W against this, and let go W, and hold D whilst like turning sharply, and you'll be fine. Here, just jump to that. If you're in EToH and you have helipars, you can just like helipar this, and it makes like a perfect jump. I don't know why. But if you're not, just kind of make sure you're jumping off the corner here, and you'll be fine. Just like, yeah, just regular header. Here, okay, you want to make sure you're not going off like a wedge thing. So just like jump off of this and wrap it. And then now you're on floor 9. The floor 8's often considered the hardest floor. I don't agree with that. I think 7 is harder and 4. 8 becomes it's so strat fucked that it's kind of whatever. And on 9, right? This jump is like failable. You just want to go in, flick it. If you fail, you'll probably just land on here anyways. Yeah, like that. You usually get caught within the wedges. No, sort of go inside out. It's like I've seen other strats where like you sort of like try to like go as far in as possible. Either works. But I just like as long as you sort of do a flick. That's fine. Because like you're pretty much netted anyways. Go in here. And it sort of pushes you in the right direction. Just wrap it. Like it's not like specifically specific. It's not very specific, so yeah. Here, hold D and type like sharply turn that. It's not sort of the same at first. Go here. You're mostly netted up until this point. Though it is still available. Here, go down, and don't do that. Bad idea. Go down, and just like land it. Make sure you like flick pretty far up, so then you do land on the wedge, because worst case scenario you'll sort of like try to land in the middle and fail it. Make sure you're pretty far up, so then you can climb it. And here, don't fail this jump like I did. Multiple times. Just go in. It's very easy. Just make sure you're flat and then turn in. There's a lot of jumps like that in ToCR. Just flatly and then go in. If I do this jump's so bad. Oh my god. So just shift lock and go in like that. It's just like, it's a lot harder on a real run for some reason. Can't really do it on the other side. Well, you can, but why would you? Like, it just feels so much harder doing it on this side. I don't know. Yeah, because like the thing is that I don't know why it feels harder. I think it's because of this thing. So I would just say third person, like that, and then here, lodge in this, and then just hold away. This thing. Why do people overcomplicate this? Walk up to the middle of this stud, turn ever so slightly, walk forward. It is that simple. And this jump is hell overrated. Just sort of go jump by one. Shift like never failed it in my life. You sort of get pushed out by the little wedges mostly, so you'll be fine. Also, the hitbox for the truss is so big that if you like undershoot it, you'll still be fine. You'll still land like all the way down here. The only way you can really fail it is if you get like stuck on this front bit. If you get caught on this. So just sort of avoid that happening, and you'll be fine. Just avoid it happening. I mean, it's fairly simple. And good on. This thing's ugh. Turn. Yeah, no. So, yeah, turn, and when you sort of feel like you're going out, just hold D, and you'll sort of like push across it fine. You don't want to hold W because that'll push you back in here. It's weird. So like just flick up. Sort of the corner. Is that really necessary? Nah. Just go onto the stud here, go down by 2, jump, land on this. Nah. It's simple. This thing here, okay. I've got weird strats for this. Just when you're like here-ish, it's like, alignment key. I forgot the word for it. Oh. Make sure you press them both, because they both kind of matter. You have to make sure you do it, and then, yeah. And you're here, just flick off it, and then you're on floor 10. Floor 10 is not... Does the music not work? Oh, it just starts there, okay. Floor 10's not too hard. I'd say it's one of the easier floors overall. But because it's floor 10, so yeah, 9's fairly easy as well. So... yeah, people really overrate 10 especially. So middle of the stud, then shift. The only real hard jumps on 10 is, I'd say, this truss. Best way to do it is just hold W, D, and just sort of go that. Jump when you sort of like meet contact with this top bit, and you're fine. Meet contact, is that even? Oh, whatever. And then sort of, yeah, do the same thing as on floor right here. Just like make sure you're flicked up. And go down. Shift flick off the bottom. Go here. Don't do what I did. Just like, don't even bother trying to do anything dumb here, right? Just press shift. And, yeah, that's what I did in here. Don't like hug the wall or anything. Just sort of go, and then like once you're there, just go in. It's fairly simple. Here. Okay. Here. Okay. Yeah, that's perfect. Like sometimes you'll just land like that, so you can just sort of jump off. If you don't, somebody just sort of shift over, go down by like 2 or 3. 2 should be enough, usually. Yeah. Sort of flick up, and then once you're like at this stage, right? Please just don't hug the roof because it's gonna betray you. Flick out from like the bottom of this, and then on this corner here, W your way out. If you sort of end up stuck like this, just turn a little and you'll be fine. Make sure you're above this arrow. Anywhere above the arrow should be fine. But you probably want to be like right above the arrow. I need to really use my own straps and not just try to Use your own strats. Come on, mercy. Okay. So here, just sort of turn a little. It's very similar to that one earlier. Jump. If you don't turn, you'll probably be fine. But you want to turn a little. And then here, corner, shift like that. So then you don't get like laddered. It's not even a ladder, it's like a two-stud climb up thing. For some reason, yeah, you'll get pushed off like that at the edge because you're sort of like creating contact with this ladder. It's just be conscious of that. And go down. Shift click there. You want to go. You don't want to turn completely 90 degrees because that's what's going to happen. Right? You're going to end up overshooting it. So just sort of turn like 90. I'd say more like 85 degrees. Just like turn to the point where you're like cusping on the edge, but like enough where you're sure you'll still grab a hold of this. Go down like how much did I go down there? Sort of go down as far as possible. Doesn't really matter. This jump's fairly easy. So I've seen people. What's the music doing? I've seen people like ledge grab it. You can do that, but it's like nothing crazy. So you can do that if you want. It's more so just sort of like to know where you're supposed to turn. It's nothing crazy. And then go to the edge here and just shift flick and like sort of regular flick at the same time, I guess. Go here, turn, shift flick, and now this thing here. Okay. This was the last jump I failed. Everyone fails one of these last jumps, and it was this one for me. So simply go like the middle of this stud, look out a bit, and then don't get caught on that like a dumbass. Why am I so smart today? Oh my god, I need to get better. I am really... No, I take it back. Go to the end of the stud. Very, very consistent strats. And you want to end up sort of just hugging the wall, otherwise you get pushed off. Why am I so shit? Okay. And then make sure you're landing on the bottom of that, so... Don't hug the wall, per se. Jump, I'd say from like here, jump off, like sort of flat against the wall on this side, and land on the bottom of this. Just be like a bit up. It is a weird jump. It's genuinely difficult. It is sort of the last pickup point. People fail this. Some people, like, I YOLO'd it. That's the best strat. That's not what I did. I sort of just like went in and YOLO'd it on the day. It's like this. It's not. But you can, yeah, you can just do this. You can go like, you can sort of go in and then give yourself like one last wedge to combat if you fancy that. You can also just walk in and jump. But yeah, I think this strat, I didn't know about this strat when I first beat it, but it's good. So it's sort of just, yeah. Simply just kind of simple guitar. I haven't heard of those ads in ages. Okay, I've seen some ugly strats for this jump. It really annoys me. It genuinely annoys me so bad. Because people really overcomplicate it. So the way I used to do it was like the vent trauma strat, right? It's sort of just like, yeah. You don't need to do that. Genuinely, flat like this. Align 45 degrees here, flick. You'll land it perfectly. Do not do any fucking weird shit like that. That is going to happen to you. Don't pull a bloody J-Road. Don't pull a Pi Jupiter. Just do the jump like that. It is that simple. Please don't tell me I'm going to keep this no speed. Oh god. Yeah, great game design. Great problems with. I never play on the Eternal Abyss. I don't know what this shit is like. I was just in here for the practice thing. Because the actual practice place doesn't have music, I don't think. So. But yeah. Don't be trying to do some funky shit, by the way, off of this. You will get insta-killed. But yeah, no. Wait, go to the middle of this. I'm flat with it if it needs to be, but it's not particularly necessary. I'll just jump.
Is it the WinPad here? Or is it just because I have LDM on? I have it on because I was playing OLC, and it was like hell laggy for me. I turn off LDM. People are so boring, they don't even add the actual like win thing. That was like the one cool thing about Champions Road, minus the music. Okay, well. Of course they're gonna ruin the fun. Of course they are, it's bloody elite hobbyists. Anyways, yeah, that's Champions Road. It's bad. This is probably one of my least favorite things I have ever played. I had an awful experience with it. I spent around 120-ish hours. I could probably go and check right now, but I could not be bothered at my first completion. And I've gotten all better at it, but it is still a challenge. This has definitely brought me back. So yeah, like most strat videos I saw, like there were some good strats in there, but it was just so fast paced and not beginner oriented. It's like these people have beaten it so many times. So these are just the things I used as someone who hated playing this and wanted to be done with it, and wasn't very good at it either. So it's just sort of strats for noobs, if you want to say it like that. But I mean, strats for people that are skilled in other departments. I'm much better at like CO and consistency gameplay, which is just the complete opposite of this. So, like Cruel Punishment was easy for me. Shunning Excursion was more purist orientated, but I did really enjoy it. So yeah, it's just whatever your skill lies in. Anyways, how long is this recording? Yeah, it's 56 minutes. Let's sort of see why people are going so fast, but you know, that's everything in detail. What I did. So yeah, I hope this helps some. Bye bye.